Today I went to work, I came home, I took a shower, I got dressed, I sat down, put my ring light on, and I hit record. And I realized that I have no plan for today. So this is a little awkward. So I guess I should think of something to film right now, you know, since we're both here. You know what I should do? I should talk about my haunted house that I grew up in. You've been asking about it ever since I made that one video. It's this video. And I just talk about my haunted house I used to live in when I was a young person. I was younger. I grew up in that house.
Be true, I swear I'll try. In the end, it's him and I. He's out his head, I'm on my mind. We got that love, the crazy kind. I am his, and he is mine. In the end, it's him and I.
I don't know my age in any of these stories. I say this all the time. My memory is shit. There was one time when I was sleeping in my bed at night. It was summer. I had the air conditioner on. You know those like old school air conditioner units you can put in your window? And it made a very loud noise. So I'm just lying in my bed. It's like the middle of the night, maybe like 12 o'clock. I hear this sound coming from my air conditioner. It was making a different noise and it sounded like something was trying to come through it. And I don't know what made me think this. In my head, I was like, that's a ghost trying to come in my air conditioner. So I started panicking, full-blown panic attack. The whole energy in the room really changed. It felt like something was there with me. And I lost my vision. I know this sounds crazy. But my eyes, you know when you get up too quick and like you see all those little stars everywhere? Everything just became very pixelated and I couldn't see shit. Like I could not see anything. And my body was getting like tingly. I was like paralyzed. And when I was feeling this paralyzed feeling and like still can't see, I felt like something came and like laid on top of me. And before you ask, no, this is not a dream. I was wide awake. I know this sounds exactly like sleep paralysis, but at that point in my life, I had never had sleep paralysis and I was wide awake. So I'm laying there, I'm freaking out. And the only thing I could really do is start screaming. So I just start screaming. And when I do this, I kind of like get out of this paralyzed feeling. I run into my parents' room like a little bitch. I'm terrified. I'm not going back in that room. I don't know what the oops is in that room. So I run into their room. I stop dead in my tracks because I see, this is gonna sound so bizarre, but I had this little white jacket like that I go out in the snow with, and it had matching pants. So like a, I had the whole snow get up situation. And earlier in the day, it was just like sitting on my parents' chair that was in their bedroom. But when I'm running into their bedroom, I stop in the doorway because I see my my coat and my pants floating in the air. They're floating in the fucking air. I'm sorry, I can't stop saying fucking. So I'm like, I'm not going into that room because there's floating stuff and there's something in my room. So I was like, what do I do? And I don't even remember what I did after that. I know I ended up in my parents' bedroom, but I waited for the clothes to stop floating. I tend not to tell people these stories because they make me sound like a nut job. But, haunted houses for you. The next story is really strange, okay? So I'm sleeping in my bedroom. Later that night, I wake up and I'm in the bathroom and my head is in the sink and the water is running. Now, I don't sleepwalk. I mean, I've never sleptwalked ever. I've lived with people a lot of years and no one has ever told me like, hey, you sleepwalk. Like I never sleepwalk. It really scared me because I don't know why that happened. So I can only assume that it's paranormal and the ghost was trying to kill me because I had my head in the sink. That's kind of a short story, but it happened. Now the next story I want to tell you, I made a whole video on this story literally last time this year. The video was all over the place. So I don't think a lot of people saw it, but this is by far the scariest thing that has ever happened to me in that house. So I just kind of want to talk about it again in a very shorter way. But basically there was like several Christmas Eves in a row that this would happen. The first time that this happened was, it's Christmas Eve, I'm in bed, I'm sleeping, I'm waiting for fucking Santa Claus. Everyone is asleep in the house. and I hear someone from downstairs walking upstairs. And the stairs were very, very creaky at that house because it was so old. And I started to hear footsteps coming up the stairs. I thought maybe it was my dad or something. I wasn't really sure. And eventually it gets to my bedroom and I can feel the presence of like someone there watching me. I turn and I look and there's nobody there. And I just remember I felt really scared. And then a little bit of time goes by and I'm lying in my bed still and I hear the sound of an old man and it's calling my name and it sounds like it's coming from the chimney. Whatever I was hearing, it was saying, "Roxanne, I'm stuck in the chimney. Please come and help me." Like I'm not kidding. And he sounded like he was kind of crying and he was just like begging me to come downstairs and get him out of the chimney. But you know, I was like, no. This would happen every Christmas Eve. And so obviously I really grew to hate Christmas. And I never told my parents about this or like, you know, my siblings. I didn't want to sound nuts. Yet here I am talking about it on YouTube. So that was the first time that happened. It was scary as shit. Then the next Christmas Eve comes around, same thing happens, like clockwork. I'm in bed, I start to hear this old man saying that he's stuck in the chimney and can I please help him? I'm hearing this, right? And I had my dog Jack in my bed with me. I was so scared of Christmas Eve that I made it a point to put him in my bed with me because, you know, I know that there's nothing he can really do. Like he can't protect me from a ghost. It just made me feel better. So I had him in my bed with me and I had a bunch of stuffed animals. Like I was saying in my last haunted house video, I collected a lot of Beanie Babies. So I think I just had them like all in my bed with me. I had the whole freaking gang to protect me from this old man ghost. So I'm hearing my name being called. It eventually stops and I fall asleep. And I wake up, I hear a different voice talking to me and the voice tells me that it's my dog, Jack. I heard a voice and they said it was him and you know, I was scared to death. So I was under my blankets just hiding and then I start to hear other voices, okay? I start to hear my stuffed animals talking. So I'm hearing like all these voices just talking in my room. You know, now that I think about it, my last story I was telling you guys how my Beanie Babies that I used to keep on that chimney, the same one that I'm hearing the old man voice cry out to me. So that story was me and my parents came home one night and all my Beanie Babies were like in a perfect line on the floor even though I left them on the chimney. I don't know, you know, now I'm starting to think that there's something up with that chimney. So maybe the chimney was haunted. I don't know. Just a thought. It's just a thought. So like I said, this would happen every Christmas Eve. I was never used to it, but I was expecting it. Then the last time that this ever happened, I remember I heard the old man calling my name. I didn't hear my dog talking to me, thank God. But I heard a voice coming from my window. And my bedroom was on the second floor, so like nobody should be out there. It wasn't the old man voice, this was a different voice. It was telling me that he's at my window. Like he was like, "I'm at your window," over and over and over again. It wanted me to go over to the window and it would getting those chills in my asshole again. You guys love when I say that. So yeah, I heard my name being called now from the window and it scared the shit out of me. And I'm pretty sure, like every other time, I just passed out of pure fear. The last story that I'm going to tell you guys is another one that I already told before on my channel, but it was such a long video and I know no one probably saw it. But this is the time when I saw what I think to be the Jersey Devil, or maybe it was just the devil, you know, who knows. One day I was walking up the steps to go to my bedroom, and when you walk up the steps there was like a banister and you could see up into my bedroom if you were coming up the steps. So I'm going up the steps and I look into my bedroom and I see a devil looking thing sitting on my bed, and he's reading one of my books that was in my room. I think it was like a Dr. Seuss book. And we didn't make eye contact, but I saw him and he was reading this book and I remember it was upside down. It looked like a devil, like it was, you know, like a big man's body. It was red, it had stripes, it had a long tail, it had horns. Okay, and again, like everything else, I know that makes no sense that happened, but I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. I know that day that my room was very, very messy. For some reason in my little dumb mind, I thought that the room being messy had something to do with this creature coming into my bedroom. So from that point on, my room was always spotless. Like, I was always cleaning. And in that video that I talk about this story, I talk about the Jersey Devil, and I talk about like people's experiences with the Jersey Devil. And honestly, what people explain the Jersey Devil looks like didn't look like this thing. A lot of people say he's like this big wolf looking black thing, but this was a red devil. Like, this is your everyday devil, you know, like it just looked like a devil. So I don't know if that was the Jersey Devil, but you know, maybe it was just fucking Satan just coming to say what's up, you know? If you have any questions about these stories, because I know you guys really like this. You guys are like me, a bunch of freaks. So if you have any questions about any of this stuff, like maybe I didn't elaborate, leave your questions in the comments and I'll try to respond. And yeah, I guess we're done here. I love you guys so much, and I hope you're having an amazing day.
Man, what up, man? Now everything gon' be perfect. We all face demons, some don't deserve it. You gotta ask yourself, is it really worth it? I've been up late night and I'm still searching for some answers I might never get. The demons win, no, I'll never let. Keep going and better yet, keep living what you represent. Keep living what you represent.